What's going on, everyone? Justin again. As always, thanks for watching my channel. Stimulate my package. So if you guys haven't already received it, and I'm sure a good chunk of you actually have, because from what I'm hearing, rumor has it that over 3 million people should have already been receiving their stimulus package checks as of today. If you did last year's taxes and got them handed in, you should qualify no problem for direct deposit if you have that set up, or it'll come to you by snail mail. That being said, what should I spend it on? At least that's probably what you guys are asking yourself, or you already know and it's already well spent. I know that when I first heard about this, I was like, well, gee, you know, if I ever get it, because I was skeptical, right? And I'm thinking a lot of people probably were when we heard about it. And I was like, well, if I ever get it, I'll probably take it and put it to the side and invest it or something like that, I'm sure. And then there was a couple of things that I was thinking I might want to actually take care of and then set the rest of it aside. So what I actually ended up doing was I ended up paying Mr. Taxman, right? Because he went ahead and he did my taxes for me. And it costs money, especially if you own your own business. I'm sure it costs a lot more. Maybe you have to pay towards taxes, etc. So it might be worthwhile in saving in case you owe money to taxes. But if you don't owe any money to taxes and you're just receiving it, the only debt that you really probably will have come tax time is the amount that it costs you to have your taxes done. Whether you did them yourself online through TurboTax, or you went to Liberty or H&R Block, or you paid a CPA, at some point in time somebody's going to get paid, right? And they might tell you that it's going to come out of you can make it come out of your taxes, and in some cases that doesn't always happen, so it just comes out of your account. Some situations you have to pay ahead of time, and then when you get your tax check, you just kind of replenish whatever you originally had to pay in the beginning. So for me, I went ahead and I took care of my tax man who did my taxes for me. Thanks, Tom, I appreciate it. With the rest of it, I simply just put it aside, okay, because I don't think we're over the crest yet. It is exciting. It's pretty awesome that they started distributing it. I didn't really know how real that was going to be, and I didn't really know how it was going to affect the economy one way or the other, but I think I got the bigger picture now, okay? Smaller picture is when you get it, you use it to try to offset some of that lost income, whether you lost your job or you had to start collecting unemployment. Maybe you filed for unemployment, but you haven't been receiving it yet. I know that some guys and gals are still waiting, and it's been about 3 or 4 weeks of on the waiting list of even receiving it, because there are so many people right now filing for unemployment. Those of you that you've lost hours, you're not quite at full-time, but you're not below the minimum requirement for unemployment, such as myself and a handful of others. Maybe you use it to kind of offset some of that hour loss that you had in taking care of the more important things: food, utilities, mortgage, or your lease. Maybe you have an apartment and you're month to month, so you put a few months aside for that if it's possible, or a couple of months depending on how much you pay and what area you live in. It doesn't go far, but for those of you that already had a little nest egg set aside and you really didn't want to touch it because you weren't sure how long you were going to be unemployed for, or your hours would be affected for, there's a handful of people out there that really needed this perk and this benefit of receiving the stimulus check. I saw this firsthand today, okay? All last week, it was dead. It was so dead. I went home early, I think once or twice, and I had an entire day off extra that week. The week before, I think I was gone for a day and a half or a day or something like that. The week before that, it was like 2 days or a day and a half. So it's really been quite something special for the last 3 weeks for me and my shop. Haven't really seen a lot of traffic. In fact, the traffic has gone down to the pretty much the most traffic I saw was the tumbleweeds rolling by the front of the shop. And yes, we have tumbleweeds out here in the desert. The Looney Tunes got that part correct. But today we had at least 10 walk-ins, and at least out of those 10 walk-ins, we had 4 that we were able to take care of same day, 5 that were like drop-offs, and then we had a late tow-in towards the end of the evening. So we have worked now for a few days, and everyone that called was like, hey, I've got vehicle problems, I've known about it, I just didn't have money to take care of it, got my stimulus check today, want to go ahead and set up that appointment or come on in if it's possible, have you guys take a look at it. Or, hey, a few weeks back you guys diagnosed my car. I didn't have the money to do the repairs. Now I want to see how much I can actually take care of right now since I got my stim check, and then how much I can take care of later or put off until a later date. And I was like, wow, and these calls and people just kept on coming in, and with the same exact reasoning behind it, which was, hey, here now I've got $1,200 that I wasn't expecting, and now I got it. It's kind of like, I don't know, winning at a scratch and win. And I say this because I bumped into a tow truck driver this morning. I don't know how long he's been playing the lottery for. I'm not advocating that you should play the lottery, but just as a story, he came in, I was getting my energy drink for the day, right, to head off to work. It was on the motorcycle. He comes in at the tow truck, and he asks for one of these letters that you got to mail into the lotto department. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen one of those. And I asked him, like, did you hit the Mega Ball or the Powerball or something? And he goes, no, but I did win $5,000 on a scratch and win ticket. And I was like, really? And I was like, well, that's cool, right? 1 in a million chances. So he won $5 grand, and I was like, well, that's got to be extremely beneficial. So he's going to mail off for it. Then it got better. I went to lunch, and there's a girl that I know that works over, and it's like a Subway / gas station. And I was telling her this story, and she told me, she goes, yeah, you know, it's funny. I've never really won anything at the scratch and wins. I started seeing people coming in that were winning them more and more. And as a result, I picked up a few, and she goes, and I've won a couple $100 in the last 3 weeks. And I was like, man, she almost, between her and him, they almost had me sold on it. I'm like, nope, not buying no scratch and wins. Gonna leave that to the side, right? Bills first. Let's keep the emergency fund growing and healthy, and just keep it there, because I don't know how long this wave is gonna last. Because yes, it has been phenomenal. People have been coming in as a result of the stimulus checks, which have definitely helped us out as an essential business. Not to the point where we can go back to our regular schedule, but I think enough to create a nice, healthy amount of workload to get us through the week or the next week or so forth. So definitely beneficial. Super glad that they decided to do this, okay? And I think it's going to help the economy kind of slowly but surely come back. My next hope is that here within the next couple of weeks, hopefully by the beginning of this next month, hopefully they start opening the doors to all the non-essential businesses, because then everyone can get back on track. And hopefully within the next month, because I'm sure it's going to take them a couple of weeks of being back at work to start getting paychecks again. I'm sure it's going to take at least a couple of weeks to maybe even a couple of months to be back on track with everything being status quo or the same old same, right? And I think until that happens, I don't know how busy we're going to stay as a shop. But for right now, busy, man. The workload just came in. Our work week is filling up rather quickly. I'm very excited that they started doing this for everybody. I'm even happier that we were able to put a little bit aside, so that way in case, if need be, it can help offset some of those bills. But what are you going to spend your stimulus on? Are you going to play the smart game and put it to the side and save it to help offset your bills? Are you going to use it to take care of some of those automotive needs that you've been putting off for a little while? Please, for the love of God, do not tell me that you're going to go down to Costco and buy that 80-inch screen, 4K flat screen TV because it went on sale for $1,200. Go figure. Huge selling point, right? I think a lot of people, in fact, a lot of the younger people, maybe they still live at home with mom, or they just live in an apartment. They don't have any overhead. There's no car payment. They just have their apartment plus their utilities. I'm sure they're tickled pink, like, heck yeah, party time, buy this TV, which also does help refund the economy. So I can't be upset if they decide to do that with their money. I am curious to know what you guys are going to do with it. But my boss just goes, I'll bet you these people down at Costco are going to sell out of all these 80-inch flat screens because it just effectively went on sale for $1,200. And he goes, and I think it was like his nephew had just bought one 6 months ago for like $3,600, and now they're $1,200. So literally, price chopped pretty much in half. So I don't know. Hopefully I didn't encourage you guys to go to Costco and spend your entire stimulus check on a TV. But if you do, hey, you're still replenishing the economy, so I can't fault you for it. I will tell you though, if you're broke as a joke or you're in between jobs, or you're paycheck to paycheck, or you didn't quite put enough money aside to save for this particular pandemic, I would strongly encourage you guys to hold on to it and not be in a huge hurry to spend it. But if you're going to, at least be a little bit smart about it and take care of the more essential things, you know. That would be my recommendation and suggestion. That's all I got for this video, guys. Thanks as always for watching. If you like today's content, hit the thumbs up. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers, and deuces.